very different crowd to what we're kind of used to. We're a different genre of music entirely, so it kind of it's not something that I ever expected for a lot of people to be into, but we're doing the tour more for an exposure purpose. But no, it's been loads of fun. Like, the guys are great, we're all crammed in that bus together, and it's just loads of fun. It's really cool. I'd be lying if I said that it seemed a little flat. You don't see very many people move, which is fine. I'm not fussed by that. But the reception afterwards, like when we're talking to people, like we're sort of blowing people away a little bit, which is really nice to hear. I can name my favourite album from Amity, but I couldn't say that about In Heart's Wake. I hadn't really heard of them before we came on this tour, and I'm still sort of just getting used to their music, because it's not, if I'm honest, it's not the type of music that I usually listen to. But my favourite record by Amity is, of course, Chasing Ghosts. For me, personally, the tour that we did last summer, which was called the Dirty Black Summer Tour, it was a tour that we did on our own, and we supported a lot of the larger shows around the summer. And we played a festival in Czech Republic called Fluff Festival, and everything's vegan there. The vibe's really good. There's no barriers. So yeah, it just blew my mind. It was like probably the most amount of people we'd ever played in front of. We hit it off really well with like the guys from Verse, and caught up with the guys from Soul Control as well, which we're good friends with. So yeah, that was definitely mine. A lot. It can cost you relationships. It can cost you every single penny that you have. None of us really work. This is something that we consider that we want to do full time. So we don't have a lot of money to play with between us. We come off of this tour, in fact, like in the minus. So everybody thinks that we've like made it as rock stars because we're in a big like nightliner bus, but we're actually doing it purely out of our own pockets, just to have a good time. I'd like to think that they felt like it meant something to them, that our show was interesting enough that we were able to maintain stage presence. But I honestly don't know. I don't expect a lot from an audience. The audience are paying to come to see us, so it's the other way round. Like it doesn't make any difference whether we have 2 people at a show or we have a sold out show. It makes no difference. We work just as hard. Originally we recorded the record and released it through Gold Records in the UK. Not very many people were happy with that decision, and we had to try and apologise on behalf of the record label for not receiving records and delays and stuff, which was kind of tough. We sold out of the record, and I don't know the figures as to how many we had, so it's not like, I don't think we did that well in sales terms, but we needed to press and repress and re-release the record anyway, and we had a few offers come in, and Pure Noise was like, I get along quite well with Jake. I like the way that he works, and it seemed like the best opportunity and the best deal to take on at the time. and it still is. So the idea of our record being available in the States is unbelievable to me. So for future terms, I mean, we're signed with Pure Noise for the next two or three records. So it won't change anything about what we're doing and what we're up to. We're just going to continue the way that we are. The deadline is sometime around summer of next year. So we're going to we've got like a few bits and pieces up together at the moment, but we're going to take that on like more full time and a bit more seriously directly after this tour. For Life Gone Wrong, it consisted very much of me spending a lot of time in Kai's bedroom, my guitarist, with me humming. I can't play guitar very well, so I just humming different things I want or make stupid noises, and then he'll play with it with Martin, our other guitarist, and then eventually they'll get some sort of like demo up together and pass it over to me, and then I'll fit my lyrics over it. And then after that, drums come in. So, I mean, the general vibe of Life Gone Wrong, like, so reminiscent of like our EP that we released in 2010 was more about the idea of losing relationships, and I'd lost my grandmother, who was very close to me, was like a second mother to me. Kai's parents had broken up. We were all sort of in the same sort of mindset, and then when we were starting to write for Life Gone Wrong, I didn't really want to write about love songs anymore, and I wanted to write it more valid to what was happening to me at the time. And I sort of faced quite a few like hard patches in my life, and I just kind of, I don't know, I guess you could call it a sign of depression, but undiagnosed. And so I don't know, it just seemed like it was right for the time. The body rise of suspended state as it turns inside. There's loads of different things, like there's loads of hidden messages behind everything that we've put together. So say for a simple example, like to do with lyrical content, or how we decided to place like tracks for our record. The first song is called Cemetery, the last song is called Paradox. The idea of it being a paradox, and then the last line in Paradox is called in Cemetery, calling you back to the beginning of the album. The same with the colour choice, like the colourways of our records. One being, the first one was pink and red and clear, which is supposed to resemble flesh, like as in flesh and blood is in life. The brown record is supposed to look like polished wood, which is supposed to be a little bit like a coffin. So gone as in you're gone, and then wrong as in almost like ash. So the last record was black and white and clear, which was supposed to resemble ash. So there's loads of little things like that. Like the video for Cemetery, we use it's like frequency levels, like the same lines as what you see with Joy Division. And Joy Division is a big influence to me anyway. So I kind of wanted to make like a small little nod, like hats off to Joy Division. But yeah, there's tons of little things. Okay. Like, funnily enough, I think the photography, I can't pronounce her name and I can't remember her name, but she's a French photographer. Okay. And I stumbled upon her work like randomly, and I fell in love with it. And begged her to sell me some of her work so that I could use it for the album cover. It's so inside of my head. we were originally, the band was called Counting Days, which was a band that sounded a bit more like Lifelong Tragedy. We had a different vocalist. I wasn't doing. I was in another band, but it wasn't really going anywhere. I was on the road with a band called Northern Life, doing merch and driving for them. I came back from tour, and I'm good friends with. I've been friends with these guys for years anyway. And their vocalist, we were out for a drink in a bar, and their vocalist Chivs, he turned around and said, "Oh, he was thinking about leaving the band because he wanted to concentrate on his motocross, like another hobby he had." And would I be interested in taking it on? I said sure. Obviously we need to speak to the rest of the guys. They then, within the space of 10 minutes, I walked to the bar and Kai came over to me and was like, "We're thinking about kicking Chivs out. Do you want to take a spot?" And I was like, "Well, that's funny you should ask that. He's just asked me the same thing," and so we got together and that's how it worked out. And from there, like, we decided to change the name, and we were practicing out the back of a pub in Fring, and just having fun with it. It just came around from there. I don't think we have any main goals. I mean, to me, from some of the stuff that we've done so far, it's hard to ask for much more. I never expected to get this far with my bands. The fact that we played with like a live session with BBC Radio 1 at Maida Vale was mind-blowing, and I couldn't ask for much more than that. So in terms of what I expect of our bands and for the future, I honestly don't know. Absolutely, yeah. I go out of my way to make sure that I try and communicate with as many people as possible through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Because I don't believe in. I mean, we're not rock stars. You know, we're just five guys, just like anybody else. You know. So the idea of showing your appreciation to someone who's taken their time to listen to you, to buy your records, to buy your merch, to then drop you a line just to say I love it, means the world to us, and so it would be rude if I didn't reply to it. We have some other interesting tours coming up as well for January and April, and we have a few random shows. I can't tell you about them yet, but they're really cool. They're sick. Like you'd want to go to those shows.